Q6467-1. When are emergency locator transmitter batteries required to be replaced or recharged? A. Every 24 months. B. After 1 cumulative hour of use. C. After 75% of their useful life has expired. The correct answer is B. Emergency locator transmitter, ELT, batteries are required to be replaced or recharged after 1 cumulative hour of use. Emergency locator transmitters, ELTs, are important safety devices installed in aircraft that can transmit distress signals in the event of an emergency or crash. ELTs are powered by batteries, and it is crucial to ensure that the batteries are in good working condition to maintain the effectiveness of the placarding to regulations. ELT batteries must be replaced or recharged after 1 cumulative hour of use. This means that once the ELT has been in use for a total of 1 hour, the batteries should be either replaced with new ones or recharged to ensure their proper functioning. Regular maintenance and inspection of the ELT system, including the batteries, are essential to ensure their reliability in case of an emergency. Pilots and aircraft operators should adhere to these requirements and keep track of the usage time of the ELT to ensure compliance with the battery replacement or recharge interval. To summarize, the correct option states that emergency locator transmitter, ELT, batteries are required to be replaced or recharged after 1 cumulative hour of use. It is important to follow these guidelines to maintain the operational readiness of the ELT system. 6467-2. How often are emergency locator transmitters required to be inspected? A. Every 12 months. B. Every 24 months. C. After every hour 01 flight time. The correct answer is A. Emergency locator transmitters, ELTs, are required to be inspected every 12 months. Emergency locator transmitters, ELTs, are important safety devices installed in aircraft that can transmit distress signals in the event of an emergency or crash. To ensure their proper functioning, regular inspections are necessary. According to regulations, ELTs are required to be inspected at least once every 12 months. This inspection ensures that the ELT is in good working condition, the antenna is properly installed, and the transmitter is transmitting on the appropriate frequency. The inspection of the ELT is typically performed by an authorized maintenance provider or an avionics technician. They will check the ELT for any signs of damage, verify the battery condition, and ensure that the ELT is properly mounted and secured in the aircraft. Regular inspections of the ELT help ensure that it is ready to function effectively in case of an emergency. Pilots and aircraft operators should adhere to these inspection requirements to maintain the airworthiness and safety of the aircraft. To summarize, the correct option states that emergency locator transmitters, ELTs, are required to be inspected every 12 months. This ensures that the ELT is in proper working condition and ready to transmit distress signals if needed. 6417. If on a night flight the pilot of aircraft A observes only the green wingtip light of aircraft B, and the airplanes are converging, which aircraft has the right of way? A. Aircraft A. It is to the left of aircraft B. B. Aircraft B. It is to the right of aircraft A. C. Aircraft A. It is to the right of aircraft B. The correct answer is C. When two aircraft are converging, the right-of-way is determined based on the position of the aircraft relative to each other. In this scenario, if the pilot of aircraft A observes only the green wingtip light of aircraft B, it means that aircraft B is on the right side of aircraft A. According to the right-of-way rules, the aircraft to the right has the right-of-way. Therefore, in this case, aircraft B has the right-of-way over aircraft A. The pilot of aircraft A should yield the right-of-way and take appropriate action to avoid a potential collision, such as altering course or altitude. To summarize, when an aircraft observes only the green wingtip light of another aircraft and they are converging, the aircraft on the right has the right-of-way. In this scenario, aircraft A should yield the right-of-way to aircraft B. 6418. When two or more aircraft are approaching an airport for the purpose of landing, the right-of-way belongs to the aircraft? A. That is the least maneuverable. B. That is either ahead of or to the other's right regardless of altitude. C. At the lower altitude, but it shall not take advantage of this rule to cut in front of or to overtake another. The correct answer is C. When two or more aircraft are approaching an airport for landing, the right-of-way rules are designed to ensure safe and orderly operations. Here are more details regarding the right-of-way rules in this situation. Aircraft at the lower altitude have the right-of-way over aircraft at higher altitudes. This means that if two aircraft are approaching an airport for landing, the aircraft at a lower altitude has priority over the one at a higher altitude. The aircraft at the lower altitude should not take advantage of this right-of-way to cut in front of or overtake another aircraft. While the lower altitude aircraft has priority, it is still required to exercise caution and avoid any actions that may compromise safety or create a hazardous situation. The right-of-way rule applies regardless of the direction from which the aircraft are approaching. It is not based on the aircraft's position relative to each other, but rather on their respective altitudes. Pilots should always maintain situational awareness, communicate with air traffic control, and follow established procedures to ensure safe operations during the approach and landing phase. These right-of-way rules help prevent mid-air collisions and ensure that aircraft can safely complete their approach and landing procedures without interference. Adhering to these rules and exercising good judgment is crucial for maintaining a high level of safety in aviation. 6419. What action should be taken if a glider and an airplane approach each other at the same altitude and on a head-on collision course? A. Both should give way to the right. B. The airplane should give way because it is more maneuverable. C. The airplane should give way because the glider has the right of way. The correct answer is A. When a glider and an airplane approach each other at the same altitude and on a head-on collision course, both aircraft are required to take action to avoid a collision. The right-of-way rule does not apply in this situation, as both aircraft are equally responsible for maintaining separation and avoiding a potential collision. The standard procedure in this scenario is for both the glider and the airplane to alter their course to the right. This maneuver allows both aircraft to pass each other on their left sides, which is the opposite direction from normal traffic flow. By both aircraft turning right, they create a larger separation and reduce the risk of collision. It's important for pilots to be vigilant, maintain situational awareness, and communicate intentions with each other through radio communications or other means to coordinate their actions effectively and ensure a safe outcome.